Hello everyone, today we are going to study binary search. Recall that lists are used to store objects in them and the contents are labeled with an index starting at 0. If you want to access kth element of a list called mylist, then it can be seen using mylist k-1. The problem we are going to study is about searching for elements in a list. So our input will consist of the list in which we want to search. So suppose it consists only of natural numbers and an element e, which is again a number, and we want to search this in the list. So if it is present in the list, we'll output true. And if it is not present in the list, we'll output false. As you have seen already, Python provides a ready-made shortcut called as in, using which you can search whether a particular element is there in a list. The in keyword, when used with a list, is actually a shorthand for the code which is shown on your screen. To find an element in a list, the code goes through every index which is there in the list. So it will start from 0 and it will end at length of the list minus 1. If E is there in the list, then it will find that element because it is enumerating all the elements. And when E is not in the list, after it has gone through all these elements, it will return false. So how fast is the search function which corresponds to the in keyword? The exact running times actually depend on the processor speed, the memory which was available when the process was run, and the load on the CPU. But in the worst case, when the element is not in the list, we will be forced to scan the whole list, and the search time can be seen to be proportional to n. That is, as n increases, so will the time to search the list. The question which we consider now is whether we can search faster. And the answer is yes, if the input list is sorted in some order. So we'll assume that our list is sorted in increasing order. And what does it mean to be sorted in increasing order? If you pick up any index k of my list and we look at any other index which is smaller than it. So let's suppose that I is an index which is less than k. We must have that my list I is less than or equal to my list k. Also, if you pick up an index which is more than k, let's say we pick up an index j which was more than k, we must have that my list k is less than or equal to my list of j. In plain English, what it means is that when we have a list called mylist which consists of elements 9, 11, 13 as shown on the screen, and we pick up any element from the list, let's say we pick up 14, we'll find that all the elements which occur before 14 are less than it, and all the elements which occur after it are greater than it. So let's start with the list which is already sorted, and we look for element 13 in it. Notice that the length of the list is 7, which we store in this variable n. And to figure out the middle index, we have to divide n by 2 and round it off, which gives us 3 in our case. Notice that the middle element corresponding to index 3 is 14. Now we are going to try to solve the problem of finding 13 in my list. We compare 13 with the middle element of the list, and if it were the case that it was 13, we would have returned true, but this is not the case here. We actually have 14 stored there. So we'll ask this question, is 13 actually less than the middle element? So now notice the property, since the list is sorted, we are assured that all the elements which occur after position 3 onwards are actually more than 13. So the only place where we have to look for are indices 0 to 2, which is basically the first half of the list. In case this was not so, and the middle element was actually less than 13, then we know that we have to look for 13 in the latter half of the sorted list, which is basically indices from 4 to 6. And this is how the list actually gets divided when we pick out the middle element. Now notice something interesting happening here. Every time we query about the middle element, we can cut down the range of indices we are going to search for by half. Another point worth noting is that we are actually going to search in a range of indices instead of the full list. So we need to change our question accordingly now. So let's change it to this question. We are given a sorted list of numbers called as mylist. We are given a number we are going to search for which is called as E, and we are also given the range of the indices. Start is the index from which we will start looking for that number E, and end is the name of the index by which we will stop. So the question we ask is E present in my list from index start to end? So let's see what happens when we try to solve this problem. We are looking for my list from index start to end. We compute the middle element as before, which is simply start plus end divided by 2 and rounded off. If it were the case that the middle element was equal to E, we would return true and stop there. But if this was not the case, then we would have asked the question, is my list mid actually greater than E? In that case, we have to search the first half of the list, as we have observed earlier. So we'll look for E in my list from indices start to mid minus 1. Now we just need to take care of the case when the middle element is less than E. In this case, we only have to look for E in the list from indices mid plus 1 till the end. Notice that both the subproblems which we need to ask are similar to the question which we began with. Search for an element in a list within certain indices. We have actually figured out the recursive step of the problem. So let's formalize this question like this. Let bin search be a function which takes 4 arguments. It takes the list, it takes an element E, and it takes the starting and the ending indices. It would return true if E was present in my list for some index K such that K lies between start and end. If it were not the case, it has to return false. Next, we figure out the base case. The base case is when the search range is empty. When start is equal to end, we have one element. For the search range to be empty, the start index has to be greater than the end index. In that case, we have to simply say there is no element in this empty range, and we return false. For the recursive step, we simply change our question into the function call, and we get this. In the next step, we simply combine the base case with the recursive step to get our full algorithm. We are also going to convert this algorithm into a Python program. So we've already decided on the name of the function, which gives us the first line. The base case goes exactly as it is written there. Then we compute the middle index, and we check whether the element is present in the middle position. Next, we take care of this left branch, and then we take care of the right branch. This completes the description of the Python program. Now that we have that program which searches for an element in a list, does it really help in searching for the element any faster? We'll try to answer that question now. We'll first of all show that each branch reduces the size of the list in which we search by half. The number of elements in my list from start to end is simply 1 plus end minus start. If we had to take the left branch, then we have to search for a list whose size is mid minus start. If we had to take the right branch, then the number of elements which we probably need to search for is end minus mid. In both these branches, the number of elements we have to search through is at most half of the list we began with. When we compare two numbers, there are exactly 3 cases that can arise. Either the first number is equal to the second number, or the first number is less than the second number, or that the first number is greater than the second number. And we will take exactly one branch out of these 2 branches. This means that if initially the list size is 8 and we did not find E in it, then we'll have to search for E in a list of size at most 8 by 2 in the next step. If E was still not found in the size of the list to search for, would be at most 2. If E was still not found in the size of the list to search next, would be at most 1, in which case in the next step we would hit the base case. In general, to answer this question, how many recursive calls were made, we have to ask this question: how many times must we repeatedly divide n by 2 such that we get 1, where n is the size of the list initially? The answer is roughly log n, where log is taken in base 2. Let's compare the running time of bin search algorithm we have coded with the search algorithm we coded right at the beginning of this lecture. The search algorithm we saw took n steps in the worst case, where n is the number of elements in the list. The bin search function, on the other hand, it makes log n recursive calls, and the number of elements it has to query are at most 3 times that number. Over here, we just want to compare how n compares with log x. As you will see, log x really looks like a flat curve as compared to y is equal to x. To really appreciate how fast bin search is as compared to search, consider the fact that you have to make only 30 recursive calls when the list has 1 billion elements. So when you run it on Python, bin search will run immediately, while the search function will seem to take forever. Thank you for your attention. Have a good day.